Hello and welcome to the Bike Ride Studio, where today we're viewing the Velotric Discover 2, a step-through electric bike designed for commuting, cruising, and recreation. My name's Scott, and I'm happy to have you join me as we run through this bike's specifications, features, ride comfort, handling, and performance. At the end of this review, I'll wrap things up with my overall impressions and conclusion about this bike, making it easier for you to decide if the Velotric Discover 2 is for you. By the way, this isn't the first Velotric bike we've reviewed, and it's not the first step-through city bike we've covered either. Check out the other reviews on our channel and head over to bikeride.com to find a huge number of written reviews covering a wide range of bicycles. And as usual, if you enjoy our content, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification icon so you're always up to speed. In a moment, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the Discover 2. But first, let's find out a little bit more about the e-bike brand called Velotric. Velotric was founded in 2021 and is based in California. In just 3 years, the company's created a range of popular e-bikes, covering everything from folding and fat tire bikes to commuters, cargo bikes, fitness bikes, and even a mountain bike. Along the way, Velotric has built a reputation for combining affordability, quality, and performance. And I have to say, they really seem to be ramping that up this year. If you want to see what I mean, I'll include links to my other Velotric test rides, so be sure to check those out. Also, you can find around a dozen Velotric bikes reviewed on bikeride.com. The links are all below. So does the Discover 2 continue the trend Velotric has been building towards well-priced performance and quality? Let's find out. This right here is a step-through electric commuter bike that's designed to combine comfort, power, and fun. At least that's what Velotric says. So does that claim hold water? Well, first impressions are good. We saw this e-bike format from Velotric in its predecessor, the Discover 1. Alongside the Discover 2 this year, the company has released the Discover 1 Plus. Though similar to the Discover 2, the Discover 1 Plus lacks some of its bigger features. However, it does cost quite a bit less. I'll put a link to our Discover 1 Plus review below. With the Discover 2, Velotric focuses on comfort and performance. The Discover 2 has a 750 watt motor with 75 Newton meters of torque, a switchable torque and cadence sensor, and impressive ease of use. The Discover 2 is a step-through only, but the frame does come in 2 sizes, and it has an extremely low step-over height. It's available in 4 eye-catching colorways, including this gorgeous red that Velotric calls Cherry Crimson. The bike has good cargo capacity, welcome safety certifications, a rich feature set, and a top speed that can be modified between 12 and 28 miles per hour in 1 mile per hour increments, meaning users can quickly switch between the 3 e-bike classes. The Discover 2 connects via Bluetooth to a smartphone app, providing easy access to a range of settings and features, including Apple Find My tracking. The Discover 1 Plus doesn't have this connectivity. The bike rolls on 27.5 by 2.4 inch tires and stops with hydraulic disc brakes, and it also soaks up the bumps with a suspension fork, and transmit your pedal power through an 8-speed Shimano drivetrain. Some of the accessories include a MIC HD compatible cargo rack, full coverage fenders, and integrated lights. So those are the essentials of this bike's specifications. How does it actually perform? Well, we can start off with the pros and the cons. I was struck by the overall quality of the user experience. The Discover 2 was well packed, and it came with everything needed to finish the assembly, including tools and impressive printed documentation. The owner's manual, which also includes a quick start guide, underlines that feeling of quality. It's detailed, well written, and it's nicely illustrated. It covers everything from final assembly and initial setup to using Apple Find My, safety guidance, and maintenance instructions. So bravo, Velotric. Just looking the bike over and checking out the components and how well parts of the bike are integrated, the Discover 2 feels like a higher quality product compared to many other brands. This is the 5th Velotric bike that I've set up, and they've all been similar in terms of quality components and accessories, consistently good packaging and documentation, easy access to helpful information, and just a lack of any problems. Finally, Velotric puts its network of partner stores at over 1,000, which is much more than most online bike brands. The second standout feature of the Discover 2 is the performance of its battery, which includes good range, consistent power no matter how little charge is left, and a reliable indicator. You don't just get full motor power all the way down to 0% battery. This puppy keeps on going. After the display said the battery was totally depleted, I got another half mile of assistance. The display shows battery level as a percentage, and it proved accurate in my testing, with the indicated battery voltage also falling in a consistent manner. As a result, it's much easier to estimate how far you can travel on this bike. And how far will the bike go? Well, Velotric says it's possible to go 75 miles. Obviously, that's in ideal circumstances. More realistically, I got 30 to 40 miles of real-world range, depending on how much performance I was using, with the range varying notably depending on whether I was hot rodding it in boost mode and pedal assist level 5, or taking things a little easier in trail mode and pedal assist 3. Overall, it's just a nicely integrated, balanced, and performant package. The Discover 2 offers a wealth of options and settings that are easy to access and change. There are 3 ride modes: Eco, Trail, and Boost, with 5 pedal assist levels for each, providing great flexibility for finding the desired speed and assistance level. The throttle can be set up to provide power in line with the selected mode and assist level, or to simply give you full power all the time. The menus are laid out in a sensible way. The functions in the advanced settings have clear names and are easily adjusted. And on top of this, the owner's manual provides clear and detailed instructions on the advanced settings. You also get clear instructions on how to set up the bike for Class 1, Class 2, or Class 3. Velotric even includes stickers that show the class, power, and speed, and they can be affixed to the bike. The throttle is easily removed for full compliance with Class 1 or Class 3, and the manual explains how to do that. Using the Velotric app, riders can switch between the cadence sensor for an easier ride and the torque sensor for a more natural pedaling feel, as well as a better workout if they want. Both ride mode and pedal assist levels are easy to change on the fly, but adjusting the speed limit requires stopping the bike to dive into the advanced settings. The bike has Bluetooth connectivity that supports the Apple Find My functionality and Velotric's smartphone app. And finally, the rear light has a choice of 3 settings for awareness lighting and braking. The Discover 2 does so much, so well, but it's not perfect. For me, this bike's biggest weakness is its sizing. Yes, it comes in 2 frame sizes, and that's great. However, at least on the large size that I tested, the stated height range seems a little unrealistic. Velotric says that this bike should fit anyone up to 6 feet 4 inches, but that appears to be quite wide of the mark. I'm 6 feet tall, and to get good leg extension, I had the seat right at the top of its range. So clearly, riders over 6 feet might find this bike too small, and that's almost certainly the case if your inseam is going to be greater than 32 inches. Despite the features and the technology that's present on this bike, there isn't any built-in way to lock it and prevent it from being turned on. This means you still have to pack a separate lock, which, let's face it, you'd be silly not to do anyway. But when you lock the bike up and you walk away, anyone can still come along, power the bike up, and mess around with it. It would have been nice to have a key-operated power switch or even an app-based lock like we see on some other bikes. This one is, for me at least, a bit of a head-scratcher. Almost all of the functions and the settings on this bike can be adjusted via the display, which is great. And what's more, Velotric has done a great job of making the menus and options on the display simple and easy to use, meaning you don't actually need the Velotric app, except for one function: switching between cadence and torque sensors. It seems illogical that everything else can be managed through the display except for changing those sensors. So hopefully Velotric can address that in a future firmware update. So what does the Discover 2 do best? Well, at the top of my list is the quality feel throughout. From the unboxing and assembly to the feature set and riding the bike. The Discover 2 feels much more like a product from one of the big names in cycling, like say Specialized. I would say the purchase and ownership experience here is up at the same level as a brand like Aventon. And it's a far cry from the cheap Chinese e-bikes that litter the direct-to-consumer market. Velotric nailed one of its key goals with this bike, as I found the ride comfortable. The electrical system, battery, and charger are UL listed, and the battery and electrical system have high IPX levels of weatherproofing. Both pedal assist and top speed can be fine-tuned, and it's easy to do. It's also easy to access and adjust the advanced settings, and the app is nicely laid out and really is a pleasure to use. And Velotric has clearly put a lot of thought into setting this bike up for different e-bike classes. The Discover 2 fulfills expectations for performance and riding style. Basically, everything works well and it's easy to operate. And if there's anything you're not sure about, the accompanying documentation covers it clearly and in detail. So why might you want to consider a different bike? Well, obviously, if you're over 6 feet tall, the Discover 2 might not fit you. If your inseam isn't 32 inches or less, you simply won't get sufficient leg extension to pedal the bike comfortably and effectively. And next, while the Discover 2 makes a great step-through commuter or recreation bike, if your definition of recreation involves hitting some real trails, this isn't the bike for you. Similarly, if you're after something nimble, direct, and light, you'll probably be disappointed with the bike's weight and size. And finally, if you're hoping to exploit this bike's acceleration and 28 mph top speed for more than 30 or 40 miles on a single charge, you'll have to shop elsewhere, as using the Discover 2's full speed and assistance really drains the battery. The Discover 2 has a robust, nicely finished step-through frame, with the lowest step-over height that I've ever measured, just 15.35 inches, making getting on and off extremely easy. And it's a great looking frame that's available in 4 colorways and has really nice paint. Unlike a lot of e-bikes, the battery is color matched to the frame. And once you've hopped aboard, you'll find a comfortable upright riding position that benefits from swept back bars and a stem with 60 degrees of angle adjustment. This frame comes in 2 sizes, and Velotric says the regular fits riders from 4'11" to 5 feet 9, and the large fits riders between 5 feet 6 inches and 6 feet 4. However, at least in the case of the large, that range clearly isn't accurate. The Discover 2 rolls on 27.5-inch wheels, with a nice, smooth Novatec front hub that features a 15 by 110 mm through axle. Known as Boost, this axle spec is popular in mountain biking due to the greater strength and rigidity it provides. Front suspension duties are handled by an 80 mm hydraulic suspension fork. The fork has a quality feel, with no clunkiness or noises, and a smooth action. There's a lockout in case you want a more efficient ride, and a preload adjustment. You'll also find 4 mounting points on the head tube for a front rack like the one offered by Velotric, in case you need more cargo capacity than just the rear rack, which is rated to carry 66 pounds. That rear rack is MIC HD compatible for easy installation and removal of MIC standard accessories. You can fit anything from panniers to cargo boxes and dog baskets. The HD means heavy duty, so this rack will take MIC HD child seats too. On the down tube, there's a handy set of bottle cage bosses. Speaking of cargo, Velotric says this bike can carry 440 pounds. That's for the rider, cargo, and kids, or dogs. However, given that the rack is rated for 66 pounds, most people are unlikely to even come close to this bike's total weight capacity. If you're planning to explore this bike's payload capacity, you'll be happy to hear that this aluminum alloy frame feels robust. Despite that super low step over height, I didn't notice any flex or shimmy, and I was happy to ride this thing with no hands, something that I can't say about all the big e-bikes. Taking a look at the measurements for this large frame, we have a seat tube measurement of 18.11 inches, a reach measurement of 14.68 inches, stack measurement of 25.47 inches, with a standover height of 15.35 inches, a virtual top tube length of 23.97 inches, a minimum saddle height of 31.88 inches, and a max saddle height of 39.96 inches, and a wheelbase of 45.25 inches, with a total length of 70 inches. The display is, in a single word, great. It's a large, full-color LCD that's positioned in landscape format. The mounting brackets hold it a few inches above the middle of the handlebars, making it even easier to read. This display shows a lot of information, but it's nicely organized, visually appealing, and easy to see in a range of lighting conditions. As with the rest of this bike, Velotric provides clear, detailed instructions on both the functions and menu system, and how to use them. As I mentioned before, this bike has built-in Apple Find My functionality, but there's no other security features such as a key-operated power switch. I'll pop a graphic up now showing the advanced menu items, so you can pause the video here if you want to read through those. Now onto the e-bike controls. The thumb throttle sits on the left handlebar, and there's a 7-button control pad between that and the left grip. On the bottom of this unit, there's a USB port with a plastic cover. This is a Type-C port, which is nice to see as the world has definitely moved on from the older Type-A, but a lot of e-bikes still do use that older format. The buttons all have icons showing their primary functions, as well as what they do when you hold them down, such as turning on the lights or enabling the walk assist. Connecting the bike to the Velotric app couldn't be simpler. Select the Connect to App function in the advanced menu, and a QR code appears on the display. Scan this code in the Velotric phone app and the connection is created. It's very simple. Connecting to Find My is similarly easy, and updating the bike's firmware via the app was simple and relatively quick, taking around 5 to 10 minutes. Though the app has some advanced functions, it's not required to make full use of the bike, apart from when you want to change between the cadence and torque sensors. The rear light unit is integrated into the rear rack, and it contains a rear light and the turn signals. You also have an icon in the display that shows if a turn signal is active or not. The Discover 2's hub motor is rated for a nominal output of 750 watts, with 1100 watts of peak power and 75 Newton meters of torque. At the highest assist level, this is a powerful motor, and it's capable of climbing steep hills with minimal pedal effort. The bike's performance changes dramatically from trail mode and pedal assist level 3 to boost mode and level 5. But this is accompanied by a big jump in battery consumption. The thumb throttle is easy to operate and it's nicely located. As I mentioned earlier, you can change whether the throttle gives full power all the time or operates in line with the ride mode and the pedal assist level. Like a lot of e-bikes, the Discover 2 has a cruise control that is set by holding the ride mode button while moving at the desired speed. The cruise control can be disabled via the settings. In our small hill climb, we had a time of 3 minutes and 8 seconds at 18.4 miles per hour average. And on the medium hill climb, we had a time of 2 minutes and 43 seconds at a speed of 14.3 miles per hour average. The Discover 2 also had a significantly faster 0 to 20 time due to an update in the controller and the settings for this bike, which allowed it to move much quicker. The 48-volt, 14.7 amp-hour battery is UL2271 rated, and the bike is UL2849 rated. These UL standards are industry specifications designed to ensure quality and safety levels, And in 2024, we would expect all e-bikes to follow the requirements of these standards. You'll see the UL markings on the relevant components. The 3-amp charger is typical for bikes like this, and means a full charge takes around 5 hours. The battery is a bit smaller than I'd like to see on a 750 watt e-bike. However, this bike still gets good range. The battery can be charged on or off the bike, and there's a nice easy to use flap style cover over the charge port to prevent water ingress. An integrated handle flips out to help with carrying the battery. During our first range test, in boost level at pedal assist 5, we managed to go 30.34 miles, with a total of 1,152 feet of elevation gain over 1 hour and 43 minutes, at an average speed of 17.5 miles per hour. And this was a pretty good result, with the bike managing to maintain its speed effectively throughout the entire test. And this is in line with other models that we've tested. Now, taking down that pedal assist mode to the trail riding mode with pedal assist level 3, we managed to extend that out to 40.62 miles, which gives you an additional 10 miles of range, with 1,476 feet of elevation gain in 2 hours and 48 minutes, at an average speed of 14.4 miles per hour average. So you can see that the bike is pushing you a little bit slower, but you are gaining a pretty good amount of range with that lower assist level. There is a significant difference in the amount of assist that you're getting between these two levels, but you're also gaining a significant distance, which is great to see. Removing and installing the battery is easy. Turn the key to unlock the battery, which then pops up. Pull up on the battery to remove it. And when putting the battery back in, make sure the handle is folded in, and then line up the contacts at the bottom. And then just let the battery slide home, applying a little bit of pressure if needed until it locks into place. The key isn't needed to lock the battery, so it can be removed from the bike at any point after you unlock it. The Discover 2 has the ubiquitous Shimano Altus trigger shifter and rear derailleur. These both worked nicely. The 8-speed drivetrain has a 46-tooth chainring and an 11 to 32-tooth cassette, giving a reasonably wide gearing range. This gearing range suits most situations, but it can still be hard to get this bike moving without the motor's help. And at 28 miles per hour, I experienced a little ghost pedaling. This bike has Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with 2 piston calipers and 180mm rotors. The brakes worked well out of the box, needing no big adjustment, and they provided plenty of braking power with zero noise. In my testing, the Discover 2's braking performance was on par with competitors. The Discover 2 has 27.5-inch wheels that wear 2.4-inch wide Kenda Quick 7.5 Sport tires with K-Shield puncture protection and reflective sidewalls. These tires have a street tread that's efficient and smooth on roads, and it's capable of light off-road surfaces. The bike also comes with nice full coverage metal fenders. In addition to the rear rack and the fenders, the Discover 2 has integrated lighting. The front light is rated at 130 lux, and the multifunction rear light can be set to steady or flashing. It also has an optional brake light setting and built-in turn signals. The bike has an auto light function that, when it's enabled, automatically turns on the lights and dims the display when it gets dark. The single-sided kickstand also does its job with no problems. This bike has lock-on rubber grips. I found the material and the ergonomic shape comfortable, and they stayed put on the bars. The saddle is wide, and it's well padded. I found it plenty comfortable, and I had no trouble pedaling, despite that saddle's width. The pedals are of hard plastic construction. They have good-sized pegs for grip, and they're bigger and wider than the pedals you typically see on these kinds of bikes. The bottom line is that the Discover 2 provides a premium experience at a relatively affordable price. It's an attractive bike with a solid, approachable frame, smooth performance, a comfortable ride, and a wealth of easily managed functions. Is it perfect? Alas, no. Certainly if you're a taller rider, the Discover 2 is likely to disappoint. And unfortunately, I can't comment on whether the rider fit works well on the regular size. Battery range is good and should be sufficient for most commuters and recreational riders. Overall, it's hard to really fault the Discover 2. It is, however, quite a bit pricier than the Discover 1 Plus, which is another excellent e-bike. I'd say that if you don't need this bike's connectivity, it would be worth considering the cheaper Velotric. If, however, you're attracted to this bike's layout, performance, and technology, the Discover 2 is an excellent option and pretty good value. Click on the link below to read our written review, where you'll also find our final score for this bike and reviews of comparable bikes like the Himaway Rambler and the Aventon Level 2. Do you own the Discover 2? Do you agree with my conclusion? And is this format of bike perfect for your lifestyle? Are you more into something like a mountain bike or a cargo bike? We welcome your comments and questions, whether you post them under the videos or you join the discussion on the bikeride.com forums. Your feedback helps us create the content that works best for you. So please do get in touch. My name's Scott, and it's been fun testing the Velotric Discover 2 for you. Thanks for being along for the ride, and I'll catch you on the next Bike Ride review.